there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it too. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and I'm back with a dose of love, affection, and generic tanking goodness. This is a patron-sponsored post. If you'd ever consider sponsoring the channel, there will be a link up there, and you can certainly click on that and become a sponsor. There's lots and lots of cool things. The STB1, why am I showing you this video? I've actually got a video of this and a video of the T62A. Now, there's been lots of cool videos dropping lately, videos that I've had a great time making and that have been a little bit more in-depth in terms of both broad spectrum and specific stuff. But this is a simple tactical video. And it's basically to address the point that tier 10 mediums, while you may see people tearing it up and doing huge amounts of damage in them, are actually quite a highly strung kind of racehorse. You really do not understand, if you're in a lower tier and you haven't driven tier 10 yet, that there is a very, very fine margin of error. And a lot of it is about knowing your tank and obviously knowing your game mechanics and things. But you're going to see here in this game exactly how much care I take with this tank on this map. Now, the reason is, this is Fort Despair. It's quite a cozy map. It's not a huge map and by any means at all. And because of that, you've got to be very, very careful when you're driving a tank like this. Indeed, any tank where you're going to be going down long sight lines. And that is more or less this area here. Now, I've dropped back to be with this 183. The 54's pulled back, and I'm going to make my way around here and try to get shots in by being sneaky and going behind this ridge line here of broken wall on these guys that are pushing up on my good mate Vlad and the rest of the team who are in the heavy channel. And that's why I'm in the side of this M48A1. Now, the STB1 has an excellent turret, but it has very, very weak chassis. Exceptionally weak, in fact. It's exactly like, say, a little bit stronger Leo 1, but not much stronger at all. And what that means is you can't really just angle it to get bounces. If you angle this tank, you're not going to bounce a whole hell of a lot. Won't make any difference. It's like angling a Leo 1. So the only way you actually don't get hit is by not giving the enemy an opportunity to hit you. Now, experience is a big thing. And this spot here is a wonderful spot on Fort Despair to actually utilize this kind of thing. And Vlad's not in an IS-4 at all. He's in an Object 140, and he's in an Object 140 in this video and an IS-4 in the next video. And there's that T54. He's had to work his way all back around that flank, and you'll see our 183 is now moving finally because he's literally camped that T54 into oblivion. I'm still not giving anyone a shot on pretty much anything here. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to do all right in this game. I'm going to go over 3,000 damage, and I'm going to not take a lot of damage back. And I'm going to do that by basically playing it really sensibly. And you can see I'm just trying to get the shot on top into that waffle tractor. The good old turret, bouncy, bouncy, bouncy for me there, which was very, very important. And we're going to go around and get the kill shot now. We're down by a tank. We'll soon square that ledger up pretty quickly. Here we go. There's the waffle. The Grille is going to come out here and give me a bit of a flogging, and I deserve it. I try to sneak a HE shell into him, and I don't know where that goes. Into the wall in front of me. His shell certainly went into me. Look at how carefully I'm driving this thing. The 62A, the STB1, all of them tend to have pretty poor average records when you search up the stats, and even worse when you consider that most of the people searching stats actually know how to play the game, or at least have some modicum of experience on it. And the reason is because in a vacuum, the tanks don't really perform that well. They have things you can exploit, but I mean, you see there, that 62A, as soon as I came around that corner, his lower glacis and everything was an easy pen, and it was all just simple, simple stuff. And you've seen I've had to drive all over the place to make sure that I get shots with this tank without actually giving anyone good hits at me. And that's pretty important, and that's something that you need to learn if you're driving a tank without a good armor profile. Let's have a look, though, at this thing, this absolute little monster, the 62A, for so long the doyen of the Unicum classes. It's got a very, very strong turret, and it's got an upper glacis that you can angle from behind ridges like this. Now, I know I've talked about this in videos a lot of times before, and I'm patient here because even though I know that there are a lot more mediums down there than there is me, I know that I have the angle correct, and this is from experience. So anyone coming around that corner who wants to get a shot on me, you can see he is going to have to really angle hard at me. Now I'm going to go backwards and forwards here and keep the angle. That Object 140 has pushed way too hard down there when there's no other medium spotted. And I'm just going to be pushing backward and forward here, trying to get shots, trying to keep tracks. There's that pattern. He's got the stock turret, so I'm just going back out, back in, take one on the tracks, breaking it back into the pattern again. And you'll see I'm bouncing all these shots off my upper glacis. If you didn't know how to do this and you just picked up a 62A and you were coming out here, I don't know whether that guy's done that or not. He's slightly angled, but he is taking so much damage from me because he is not using the tank correctly. In fact, all of them have taken a huge amount of damage without really returning any, and they're just being impatient, and they're also angling incorrectly, and you can see you can't fake that kind of thing. Unfortunately, this is what happens when people get tier 10 mediums. They think that it is just going to be an absolute walk in the park to do the business, and it's not. It's quite hard, and the T62A is a super tank once you get a grip on it. Like you get nice and low and you actually start using the terrain to bounce shots and only show off your very red turret, which is what I'm trying to do here. And that's all well and good. The problem is, if you've just gone up the line and you've just got to this tank and it's one of the first tanks you've got in the game, you are not going to have a clue how to do this. So what I want you to do is every time you're in an engagement with a 62A or a 140 or a T54 or a T44 or a T59 or a T54 Proto or a T54 Lightweight or any tank like that, like an FV4202, anything that's got that really sharp upper glacis that's very low to the ground, I want you to angle it at about 25 to 30 degrees. So when you come out from behind hills, that will create this really fierce auto bounce zone. And you'll be able to then actually do a whole lot of shooting without taking damage, or at least have a much higher opportunity of bouncing shots, because the tank itself can sing. It's got fantastic damage per minute numbers. And this is the same with all the mediums at tier 10. They tend to do really good damage. But you've got to take care, and you've got to really work your way through a battlefield. Just because you've got a good tank, there's very few of them in the game where you can just drive forward and not have to worry about taking damage. So next time you're out there and you're driving around in your medium, whether it be tier 8, tier 9, tier 10, start getting in the habit early. Treat your tank with a little bit of respect and drive it with care, because there's different ways to succeed in all of them, but especially in the mediums. You're going to be playing against tanks that have 180mm guns and the like, and they are just absolute monsters. And if you don't take care, you will end up getting obliterated by them. So there you go, Vlad and I combining there very nicely for about 7,600 damage. Always the way forward. When you can put that kind of number out in a platoon, you'll generally do very well. I'm Bushka on Blitz. There's a lot more coming up. I'm going to be doing a Know Your Nasties for the tier 10 mediums and Know Your Nasty for the tier 10 heavy tanks. And then I may even drop down and do a Know Your Nasties for the tier 8 premium tanks that I at least have on my account and I can get a hold of. It's I think it's well worth doing. The response to the Know Your Nasties, as in the video I put up last night, which was all the tier 10 TDs basically in a row, one after the other, talking through their highs, their lows, and actually mentioning each one and why it's important and what it has going for it. That seems to have been exceptionally well received. A lot of people really like that, so happy days. If I sound a little bit tired, it's because I bloody well am. I was up very late getting that one done, and I've been hammering away lately. Christmas time is just tough. Everyone needs something done somewhere, and I'm no different, and I've got lots and lots of stuff going on with school, extracurricular activities and things. So we're all feeling the pinch as we get towards the festive season. So just keep calm, stay down, and carry. And I'll talk to you real soon. Until next time, stay safe.
On the battle.
Well done, Junior. Love your work, team. Bye-bye.